Now it's time to go shopping. And remember, your pre-qualification is as good as you having the money in your pocket. I already had 3 places that I was going. I went to the first place, I seen the car, and I got all the things that I want. I wasn't pressured to buy. I knew the money was in my pocket. If I want it, I can buy it. I told them, hey, I don't know. Let me go down the street real quick. Let me go see, I got a few other places. Let me shop around. If I do decide that I want to buy this car, then I'll give you a call. And then you go right out of there. And the first place you should go to is always the place of the least car that you want. Go to the second place. Yeah, I was looking at this car, like it. Let me drive it. Drive the car, right? Kick it a little bit. You know, don't let them know too much or nothing. You just looking for a car. The last place that I went to was the place that had the exact car that I wanted. All the options. It was beautiful. It had the leather seats, the sunroof, it was player, it was me. Knowing that I've already gained experience of how they operate in dealerships from the last 2 dealerships, I was ready to talk money. And this is a pretty funny story, just to throw that in there. When I got to the place where I bought my car from, actually, I was just like a straight bum. I didn't have a haircut, nothing. All I had was a check in my pocket. And it's so funny because this is where credit come back into it. He withheld the keys from me. He was like, yeah, well, we got to run your credit and this and that. He would not let me test drive the cars. Me knowing I got a 775 credit score. The lowest is like a 760 with Equifax because they're dumb. Knowing all that, I let him run it. He came back with every set of keys for every car that I told him that I liked and told me, have my way with him, right? Let him know what I wanted. Even though I know what I want, but that's not information that you disclose. Nor do you let them know that you got a check in your pocket. Now we get into the real crux of buying a car. You've test drove your car, cut the lights on and off, cut the blinkers on, AC, heat, made sure the car worked. Then you come back. All right, let's talk moolah. You just let the salesman know, this me. I want to roll out of here with this. I want this car. What can we do to make this car mine? Here come the gas. And what you got to do before you even start exchanging that conversation with the salesperson who is going to be referring to the finance manager, you need to know I have a budget. And if they can't meet my budget, I'm going back to the second place. Or I'm going to another place. They want to sell these cars just like you want to buy a car. It's a mutual deal. They have a position of power and you have the position of power when you're spending tens of thousands of dollars on a vehicle. So, stand firm, stick to the game plan, and don't let no one take you over what you came there to spend. I was in there for maybe an hour and a half when I went to the dealership to buy my car. I say why. I don't say yes. I don't say okay. I say why. I say who. I say what. Explain to me what is going on and what you're charging me for. And then we go get into that. The main thing, probably the first thing that someone's gonna say to you when you go to buy a car. Yeah, so blah, 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 blah. Yeah, how much can you afford a month? How much can you afford a month? How much can you afford a month? It is not your business how much I can afford a month. I've already worked that out with my pre-financing in the bank that I got the check in my pocket for. It's not their business to know how much you can afford a month until way after you're almost ready to sign the papers. When they ask you how much can you afford a month, that just equals, hey, I'm gonna charge them this amount for the car, but I'm gonna extend the loan so that the monthly price goes down. How that works is, if the car is $10,000, right? I'm just throwing a number out there, and you're gonna lease it for 10 months, right? That's $1,000 a month. and you say, well, I can't afford $1,000 a month. Then what they're gonna do is extend your lease. So if they extend your lease to 20 months, then that means that your payment just went from $1,000 a month to $500 a month, which sounds good to dumb ears. All you're doing is paying more interest over time. When they ask you or try to hit you with that gas, how much could you afford a month? Hey, like I say, handle salesmen with courtesy and care because they're there to help you. But at the same time, know the game. I'm not going to finance a car over 5 years. 5 is really the longest that you should ever go. But really, 4 years is going to be the best way to go about it, which is, I believe, 48 months. When they try to hit you with the gas on how much could you afford a month, you let them know, hey, buddy, how much can you sell this car for? Total price is what we focus on in automotive purchases. How much are you willing to sell this for? Because I got the money in my pocket anyway. If you did your research and you know most people in my region pay $19,000 for this car and they want $25,000, leave out the door if they don't want to bring it down. Being that he had already ran my credit and he knew I had plenty of banks willing to give me money before I left out of the door, that's going to entice them more to make that sale. I use that to my advantage. That's my leverage, like I said, to have options. Hey, this car, I just seen one that was newer at the last dealership, had lower miles, and it was only X, right? And I'm not telling you to lie to salespeople. I'm not telling you to lie to anyone in the car industry. They know what they're talking about, but also know the game. I tell him, hey, this is what I can pay for this car. Take it or leave it. And I guarantee you, before you get 2 feet out that door, they're gonna bring that price down if the car is overpriced. You know what they said? Oh, well, we really can't do it, but just this one time, we'll go ahead and do this. I did knock $3,000 off the total price of the car. I'm winning. Now, it's time to sign a few contracts. What they tried to do to me, they tried to make me buy the car off an iPad. I mean, just sign here, in here, press this. I said, whoa. Stop. We're not about to do that. I say, well, what's this for $1,500? What's this for $700? What's this for $2,000? These are all negotiable things. These are all things that are adding on to the price of the car that you're buying. Print all of this out for me so I can read it. Print it out. And they printed out all of the information that came with the add-ons and the warranties and all of that extra stuff. I would say, honestly, me personally, with add-ons, I wouldn't buy none of it, except for 2 things. There's extended warranty and there's gap insurance. Tire protection. If you can't afford to put tires on your car, you don't need to be going to buy a new car. It's like $700. And you could throw that off. The extended warranty, they were charging, I think, $2,500 for it. Even though the dealerships get wholesale prices for the insurance plans, it still was cheaper when I just bought it straight from the company. I seen the company, he printed it out. I went on my phone, looked at it, and seen how much they was gonna charge me for it, and I bought it from them. Gap insurance. Gap insurance is important if something happens to your car. My insurance company offered me gap insurance that wasn't as good for hundreds of dollars cheaper. Average price of the car, or what the car is valued at, and to what I owe, gap insurance covers that. Even if something would have happened to my car, you know, the money that I saved beat out the money that I would have paid and put into my loan or put in my down payment for that gap insurance. Tire protection, seat protection, window, all of that extra stuff. Understand, that is negotiable. You don't have to buy it. A lot of the ways that they make money off of you is them add-ons. But me personally, I didn't take none of it. And they were so surprised. I never seen somebody walk out without extended warranty. Never seen somebody walk out. I never seen this. I never seen that. Well, guess what? You seen it today. Because I've already had lined all of that up before I even came to your place of business. Yeah. I still have all of that same coverage for a fraction of the price. That knocked off maybe about $3,500 off of what they would have added on to the total price of the car. With all of the things that are going to get tagged on, the fees that are going to get tagged onto what you buy the car for, you're going to easily go over what you set to pay when you came there. But what I do is I work in the reverse aspect. First, I'm gonna get this car down on the total price, now how much I can pay a month. Then I'm going to be very picky about add-ons that I let you add on into the total price of the car. And by the time I was done doing all that, man, total price of the car that I would have paid if I would have left out there was down like 8 bands. I done made so much off my negotiations. I said, go ahead, put it through. Whipped out the check. I was in such a good place with the finance manager and the salesman. He said, hey, since you know what you're talking about, I probably can beat your pre-financing. Now my bank, they had me at about 8% APR. On a 60-month loan, like a 7.8% APR. Total amount, how much I was gonna be paying a month was already set in stone, but it's gonna be less because at the same time, I wasn't gonna be spending that full amount of what they had pre-financed me for. But what the finance manager did, he went into his banks, which can only imagine that they get compensation for writing loans to different banks for car loans. I'm sure they probably get something on the back end for that, but I don't know that. And he ended up coming back with Wells Fargo at 3% for the same amount of the loan. So just with that, what I had just won less interest. Over the amount of time of my loan, I would have been paying X amount of dollars, and now I'm paying X amount of dollars. I'm just winning on every aspect of this whole situation. So I said, all right, go ahead and put it through, buddy. He went ahead and put it through with Wells Fargo. I got like a 3.7 APR, same amount of months. Interest was like $1,200. I could have went ahead and paid them that shit out of my pocket right there. This is where you got to be a player to kick this in. So what I did was, I said, when they came and said, okay, so with this and with that and with this and your down payment, I said, whoa, stop right there, buddy. I just got $8,000 knocked off of this car. Why would I even put it down? Why would I give you money out of my pocket and I'm already winning $8,000? If I would have came here and said yes to everything, a down payment couldn't do nothing but help me. Just go ahead and put it through. Well, to the banks, the down payment looks good and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, listen here, man. I'm not giving you no money. I'm already about to be paying thousands of dollars less than I was going to pay in the first place. Said it in different terms. Buddy was cool. He said, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. You're already paying thousands of dollars less. Why would you even give us any money? It doesn't make sense. So what they did, put it through, and they put all of the charges that I would have, which is my finance fee, my tax and title, all of the things that came with me buying that car, the actual shit you can't get around, they built that into my loan, which was fine with me. At the end of the day, I'm still winning significantly. So right there, I didn't even have a down payment. I walked into a car dealership, didn't put any money down, looking like a bum, drove all their best cars, right? Got the car that I wanted, the one that I wanted, and left out there paying less than $250 a month. And I have a wonderful car. And I think that most people would be at that point where they're not paying all this crazy amount of money if they took time to take these steps before they signed the dotted line. That's really about it. When you're going to buy a car, make sure that you follow these steps. Make sure that you're staying stern on all of the research that you did. Make sure that you're not just going in there saying yes to everything. Ask questions. Understand, stick to what you know, because what you know, 9 times out of 10 is going to be the same thing that they know. So you got to really stick to your ones and twos when you're in there and negotiating to make a deal to spend tens of thousands of dollars.